All right, welcome back. As we continue on the Sports Call, I have a special one-on-one Zoom interview tomorrow with Kevin McClatchy, of course, a former owner of the Pirates. He was there, and when PNC Park was constructed, he was a big part of it, gathering corporate support, all sorts of other things that were necessary to make it possible. So now is the 20th anniversary. He talks about that, but also something that forever has changed his life. That's coming up tomorrow on KDKA News at 6 o'clock. So we hope you join us one-on-one with Kevin McClatchy, and it's kind of a stunning development in his life. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, we're talking about the Pirates. And by the way, that 20 years ago, I remember that. And I remember Barry Larkin stepping up and getting a hit, Chris. 20 years ago, man, you were really young. I don't know if
I was there.
Were you there?
I was there.
Okay, well, and of
my
course,
dad
Sean Casey
was never
had the hit.
Yep. Sean Casey, the first home run, I believe.
Right,
I was there for
run.
Todd Ritchie throwing the first pitch. My dad continues to be like a medium enthusiasm at best sports fan, but he kind of hooked that one up that day and found his way into some tickets. So I got to be there for the first pitch. It was I would say that was an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, it was, and that's still. And Kevin will talk about what his expectations are of PNC Park moving forward. We got into the competitive aspect of it. It was supposed to make this team and his franchise more competitive, more successful. That has not happened. Interesting stuff from Kevin McClatchy tomorrow at 6. In the meantime, we're going to go out to the phone lines. We have a lot of people want to talk tonight. Chris, Matt, and Butler kicks us off. Matt, welcome. Go ahead.
Guys, I am so disgusted with the Pirates. It is unbelievable. This is a team that we knew they were going to have no power. They're the second lowest in team average. They can't run bases. They're terrible at fielding. And Sheldon, if you listen to him in spring training, he ought to be forced to go back and listen to some of the garbage he spewed out during spring training. I know he's there for a rah-rah guy. It's damned embarrassing that this has to go on with this organization. This isn't even a Major League Baseball team. This team couldn't compete against half the minor league teams.
I got you, Matt, but here's the thing. I mean, it could be part of the design to stock up on as many people as they can, get as many high-end draft picks as they can, whatever the case may be. The one thing I caution on that, Chris, and I always have, is that you can plan it one way. It may never turn out to be you expect it to be. You never know how things are going to be. I mean, we've seen draft picks, and I don't know if they can still do this or not, saying, you know what, I'm not going there. And I'll stay until the next year or do something of that nature.
Well, the last time that happened to the Pirates with Mark Appel, it was a blessing in disguise because that guy stinks. I don't even think he's in baseball anymore.
He chose to do it.
No, I hear you.
And he was an eighth overall pick, right? I mean, or 11th or something like that. He was a high pick for them.
Well, I mean, he was one of those guys that they were trying to sort of hit out of their league a little bit there, and he called their bluff and said, I'm not going to do this. And then, like I said, blessing in disguise. He's terrible. I think it's funny, you try to time it up, you talk about that. Neil Huntington tried to time it up with a lot of guys. He really built the Pirates more with trades and one or two, a free agent signing here with Russell Martin or reclaiming Francisco Liriano and turning him into something better, like a reclamation project. You can lay out all the young talent you want and try to have it timed up right, but it rarely works out that way. To what the caller said, though, I'm just going to echo again what I said to open the show here. You can be bad. And you can even be bad by design, which the Pirates are. The guys out on the field are trying to win, but the whole point of, tanking is to field a team that's not good enough. There is no excuse when you are on a major league roster, which makes you better at baseball than 99.9% of the human population, for some of the errors and mental mistakes that they make. And he said Derek Shelton's a rah-rah guy. I've heard that too, obviously. I've gotten that sense from him. I would be stunned if this continues this badly, if Derek Shelton just doesn't erupt at some point on his team and send a message.
Hey,
it would honestly, it would be kind of it would be a bad sign if he just kept smiling through this. At some point, you're in charge, you're the manager, you're having to wear this. You've got to erupt if these guys are doing this game in, game out.
And it may be something fans want to see too, that you're not going to tolerate, or at least, some of the base run already in the first game of the year, there was a base running, just a
Lloyd
basic
McClendon's team stunk.
They were all that.
Lloyd McClendon's team stunk, but he erupted on the. He took the base. He took the base, and everyone remembers it. Do that to your own team.
That's the best stolen base in Pittsburgh Pirate history.
Yes.
All right, I want to ask you about a trade here and get your thoughts on it. I think it's a good trade for the New York Islanders, who pulled into a tie with Washington last night after they beat them 1-0. And they have a good defensive team to begin with. They acquired from New Jersey Travis Zajac and, more importantly, Kyle Palmieri, who's a very good player and one of those guys I think can really thrive over there. The Devils are going to get a first-round pick this year, a conditional fourth. They sent 2 players. I think this makes the Islanders a team now that I would look at and think they're the team that's going to emerge as division champs here. Do you?
Yeah, I think they are. I also think they're like, we talked about the Penguins just needing to get back to the kind of hockey that they've been playing for the last month after these last 2 games. The Islanders are the undisputed kings, I would argue, of knowing what they are, knowing their system and playing it. Palmieri, you said it, they're a defensive team. To me, he adds a little bit of that natural scoring touch. It makes them that much more dangerous. Everyone was mentioning him as an obvious fit there. They went out and got him. They're making bold moves. And I don't see anything close to that or like that in the Penguins' future, which might be for the best ultimately. If they can get this group to continue buying in by and large, that might not be a bad thing, but the Islanders absolutely got better with this deal. A lot of people saw it coming, and now that it's here, they're clearly improved.
Yeah, very big game for the Penguins tomorrow. They got the Rangers there again after taking a shellacking the other day. The Rangers are getting better. They're younger. They got a really talented team. If their goaltending can be consistent enough, that's going to be a team they're going to have to face a lot in the years to come. Let's go to Chris in the South Hills. Chris, thank you for joining us here on the Sports Call. Go right ahead.
Hey, guys. How we yearn for Kevin McClatchy these days. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about Rocker versus Leiter. And if there was an article, I believe it was on MLB.com today, where there was an anonymous survey where the GMs took 25-3 Leiter. And, I mean, going into the season, that was not unthinkable, but it was pretty surprising for me. And just for some food for thought that a friend of mine brought up is Charrington, when he was with the Blue Jays, he drafted a lot of MLB players' sons. So just want to hear what you thought.
Well, I don't think you could go wrong there. I specifically like Leiter right now. I didn't at the beginning of the season. Watching him pitch a lot more, now we're getting down to the stretch run here, Chris. I think he's got a lot. He looks to me like a Tom Seaver at times. He gets that knee almost down to the ground. He's got a wicked curveball. He knows how to change speeds. Rocker does too. Rocker's more of a power guy. I don't think you can go wrong there, but you got to have this hit.
I think Leiter,
this guy has got to turn into an ace.
Leiter looks like the better guy.
Yeah.
Leiter looks like the better guy right now. I mean, Rocker burst onto the scene because he cussed out Duke when they were trying to stall him, and he struck out 19 guys, and he just overpowered that team when he threw the no-hitter. But the book on him is unbelievable fastball, decent secondary pitch, doesn't have much right now that's polished beyond that. I think the reason a lot of people like Leiter is you're barely getting a drop-off, if at all, in stuff quality compared to Rocker. And the polish on his pitches, the command of his pitches seems clearly better right now based on what the scouts are saying. So right this second, I would say Leiter would be my pick for that spot.
I would agree at this point. Let's go to Scott in the South Side. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. So I watched a good bit of Gonzaga basketball this year, and that view is just a great coach. And it makes me wonder, even though he's got some talent coming in, would he ever consider a move to a Power 5 conference? And if you were to do that, is there any chance if Capel leaves and goes to Duke that maybe you considers a Pitt?
Well, I think he'd have to go to a program, right, that is really already, close to winning. I mean, he's established himself as an outstanding coach.
Pitt would be a massive step down. Bob, I mean, let's call this what it is.
Exactly.
Pitt would be a monumental
is established,
step
and
down.
he was the man who made it what it is.
If he's going anywhere in a Power 5, it's to a Kentucky, a Kansas. It's
right.
A blue blood program. And if I were him, I wouldn't want to leave. He's getting 5-star guys coming in there. Suggs is going to be a top 5 NBA pick. They've got kids coming in next year who are that good. Mark Few has done what I would say is near impossible, a little more plausible in basketball than in football. He has turned a random school in the middle of nowhere, relatively speaking, into a national powerhouse unto themselves. He doesn't need to go to a Power 5 school. He's running a program that's every bit the equal of a Power 5 program right now.
And as well as he did, I think Scott Drew has done an even more impressive job considering where Baylor was back in 2003. We got to go to the tweet of the day, which is brought to you by Tri-State Office Furniture, and this is about the Pirates. And we had tweeted something out about what we were doing today, and Bob Ulinsky says, hey, I see some hope. The Pirates outscored the Reds 4-0 late in the game. That's a win in my book. Of course, it was 11-0 when they outscored them 4-0, but we appreciate that, Bob. That's our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day. We got more calls on the way. Thanks for joining us here. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, 7 nights a week on Pittsburgh CW.